Hello.
Christmas pudding. To my American ear, it sounds like something out of a fairy tale. And when I searched for recipes, I found Fanny Craddock, who looks like something out of a fairy tale. In this container right here, I have a Christmas pudding that I made 5 weeks ago, and it has been hiding out in the back of my cabinet ever since. So let's open it up and see if it held up. Doesn't smell moldy or gross. Let's unwrap the tea towel. Okay, here in some waxed paper, I have the pudding itself. It's a bit misshapen. I think it was supposed to be perfectly spherical. It is not. It smells good. Let me say that about it. To reheat this, I have a little steamer basket on legs. And I'm gonna put it down into this pot with a little bit of water in the bottom. Cover that and let's set it on the stovetop for 4 hours. While that is steaming, let's go back to the beginning. Like I said, this is Fanny Craddock's recipe, and I watched one of her Christmas specials where she demonstrates how to make a proper Christmas pud. But Fanny Craddock is a businesswoman. She does not give you the recipe. You have to buy it.
Every single thing is written down for you in the booklet.
So that is what I did. I bought the rather joyously named Coping with Christmas by Fanny and Johnny Craddock. And in it is the recipe for Escoffier's Plum Pudding. That's what I used. Ingredients: 1 pound fine breadcrumbs, 1/2 pound of suet. I had trouble finding affordable suet. All I could get at the time was $24 for an 8-ounce container, and $48 a pound for suet was a little bit above my price range. If you watched the mince pies video, you know that I have found it a little bit more affordable since then, but at the time, I didn't figure that out yet. So I substituted leaf lard. So suet comes from around the kidneys of the cow. Leaf lard comes from around the kidneys of the pig. 1/2 pound of flour. I just used all-purpose flour. 4 ounces of chopped cooking apples. 1/2 pound of sultanas. 1/2 pound of seedless raisins. 1/2 pound of currants. And 2 ounces of mixed chopped peel. 4 ounces of soft brown sugar. The strained juice of 1/2 an orange. I used Valencia oranges because I think they juice really well. The strained juice of 1/2 a lemon. I used a Meyer lemon. 1/2 an ounce of allspice. 1 ounce of flaked almonds. 2 small eggs. 2.5 fluid ounces of brandy. And sufficient old ale to bind this mixture to a loose batter paste. I used Guinness Extra Stout. It's a nice dark ale that is easily available in most American grocery stores. Then I covered it with a cloth and left it overnight. And this is where I came back and followed her instructions from the video. So let's jump back to me several weeks ago and see how that process went.
You take an ordinary sieve. It can be a large, small, or medium, whichever you like, and you simply bend the handle upwards.
I don't have a sterilizer like she does. I got this little aluminum bowl. I'm going to put that in the bottom.
I dip that in there, and then I call for help, and here comes Sarah.
So I need a suspiciously large amount of tin foil. I don't have a Sarah to help me with this, but I think I can manage on my own.
And I fit turkey with aluminium foil inside the basin, so I can reach.
That part made. Now I need buttered waxed paper.
Inside the basin, so I can reach. And then wax papers inside that.
All right, this is an elaborate setup, but it's kind of cool. Time to start filling it.
But it's that gorgeous one that I found in the vaults of Escoffier's some years ago. And you've all gone so mad about it that I can never be allowed to produce any other recipe for Christmas pudding anymore. It's all right, I scrubbed my hands before I started.
Okay, gotta fold the butter around it, or the buttered wax paper around it. Round it off.
And it has a very, very high preponderance of breadcrumbs, and therefore is a much more easily digestible Christmas pudding.
All right, how cool is that? Oh, it's got some heft to it. So it's gonna go into a big pot to boil. Let's head over to the stove. Got some boiling water in there, and I'm gonna lower this down. Okay, it's in there securely. I don't know how much water to put in here. I'm gonna put some more. All right, the pudding is on the boil, which is a strange sentence to say. That brings us back to the present day. The pudding is steaming away for 4 hours. And while that's going, let's make the brandy butter. the recipe for which is in a different part of Coping with Christmas. And this book reads more like a battle plan than a recipe book. I think if Fanny Craddock had been in charge of the invasion of Normandy, we might have gotten through D-Day without a single casualty. I think she could intimidate General Eisenhower himself. Let's look at this recipe. Brandy, rum, or Grand Marnier butter. This is not to be confused with brandy sauce. Real brandy butter is seldom correctly given in English publications, but this one came by a roundabout route from a royal household that really knew what it was eating and drinking. Ingredients: 8 ounces of pure, best quality unsalted butter. Cream the butter very thoroughly indeed. 1 pound of finely sifted icing sugar. Add about 1/4 of the sugar and cream again. 1 teaspoon of orange flower water and 1 teaspoon of rose water. I am omitting the rose water because the brandy I am using is Leotar flower. Never heard of it, but it is from Bosnia. It is a Leotar flower apricot brandy. So I don't want to overdo it with the florals, so I'm just going to use the orange blossom water and omit the rose water. Add another 1/4 of the sugar, the rose and orange flower waters, and cream again. If you cream thoroughly, the mixture will now take and hold the remaining 8 ounces of sugar. Cream it in and then add as much chosen alcohol as the mixture will absorb and still hold a gentle peak. All right, brandy time. And I've not tasted this yet. Just a taste. Good for cooking. Not terrible. Still holding a stiff peak. Let's do a little bit more. Glug, glug, glug. Okay, I think we're getting close. And with the addition of that brandy, it is becoming wonderfully silky. Let's do one more glug, 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 and I think I'll call it at that. Glug, glug, glug. Okay, still nice and firm, but I think it's reached its saturation point. Starting to get a little bit of like a moist glisten to it. Now, color it pale green with harmless vegetable coloring. Place in a nylon icing bag with an ornamental pipe and pipe onto a pedestal dish in a pyramid. I did get this a little bit too soft to pipe conveniently, but I'm just gonna try to fix it with the spatula. It's falling off the side.
This is brandy butter coloured pale green. The recipe's in the booklet.
You know what would work really well for this? Refrigerate it. This has been in the icebox for about 10-15 minutes, just enough to firm it up.
Studded with little tiny economical scraps of angelica, glassy cherries, little bits of nut.
Not pretty from this angle. Looks decent from this angle. It's still a little bit soft. Let's throw this in the refrigerator. All right, it is firmed up more after piping. I have some candied cherries and some mixed citrus peel that I'm going to use as little ornaments for decoration. It is a bit of a gimpy, lopsided Christmas tree. That's okay. All right, it is definitely, it has sort of a homespun charm to it, I would say. Not perfect or professional, but I think it looks fun. It will be another 2 hours for the pudding to finish steaming, and I'll come back then, and I'm going to try to flambe it. So wish me luck. Okay. It has been steamed until it is good and hot. Woo, doggies. How do I get it out of the pot? Let's drain it. Okay, with it drained, it should be easier to roll out of here, maybe? Flipperoo. And there's still going to be liquid. I know there is. Okay, 1, 2, flipperoo. That was very heavy. Ouch. Take a little basket off. Soak up all this juice. This thing is soggy. Is it supposed to be soggy?
And here comes the pudding. There are the butter papers that I put on the other one.
Oh no. Look at this thing. It just fell apart. I'm going to have to do another flip, possibly into this bowl. Great. Just great. This is incredibly disappointing.
And none of that business of prodding it out of a pudding basin. And look at the colour of it.
Weeks? I waited weeks for this?
Now, the holly. You see a lovely piece in somebody's, your side of the hedge.
Kidding me. Guess I'm just going to scrape this whole thing into a bowl.
Take it home, shove it in a spud, and it will last for up to 3 weeks.
Gotta pull these papers out of it. So there was obviously some detail of the steaming that would help keep all of this together, to keep it from falling apart like that, the reheating. But it wasn't listed in the recipe. She didn't show it in her video. It's probably just something people would know, unless you don't know, which I don't. It smells all right. I'm just smashing it down into this bowl. And maybe if I get it nice and compacted in here and let it cool down to where it's not straight from the steaming, still really hot, then it won't fall apart. Maybe that's what I did wrong. Maybe it should have been allowed to cool a little bit before serving. I mean, as is, I don't know if I'll be able to get it out of this bowl. All right, I'm letting it cool down. I'll be back. Okie dokie. It's been cooling for about an hour. Still very warm to the touch, but hopefully it'll all hold together better. Let's do it this way. 1, 2, 3, opa. Come out. Come out. Come out of there. It's not coming out. Give it some time, maybe. Let's run a knife around the edge. Let's see if that helped enough to release it. Oh, it might have. There was some mobility, some motion. 1, 2, 3, opa. Oh, I heard a squelch. I heard a squelch. Boy, is it not visually appealing. Wowzers. It seems to be holding together fairly well. So I've salvaged it somewhat. Right now, I don't know if it's going to collapse, but I'm just going to put this whole thing back in the refrigerator to cool down more with it unmolded. So hopefully this area can release a lot of heat and it can solidify a bit more.
Everything's my favorite this year because I feel that if they've been a success and they've been my friends and family's favorites, they'll be all right with you.
The pudding seems to be holding together fairly well now. It is only slightly warm now, no longer hot, but I am going to attempt to set this on fire. Okay, I got a flame here. Don't know how well you can see that. It wasn't the most dramatic. Maybe I didn't have enough brandy. Trying it with a bigger ladle, see if we can get a more dramatic burn. Oh, looks like we can. Oh my God. Talk about dramatic. Yikes. Ha! Whoa. Keeps going. Okay, that was nice. That was a nice, dramatic flambe. So at least that worked out well. The pudding, we'll see. Let's cut a slice. From what I understand, you just cut a slice out of it, like a little wedge. It's goopy. It's not going to hold together at all. This is a very wet pudding. Honestly, it smells kind of like panettone. I'm getting a very strong yeasty smell from it. The breadcrumbs are coming through. Maybe that's my choice of bread, but I used a fresh baked bread like she said. Let's give it a bite without the butter. I don't like the texture, like wet panettone. I don't know how much of this is Christmas pudding that I'm not loving and how much of it is this recipe, me not executing it properly. and maybe my choices and things like the breadcrumbs affecting it. It was a very bare bones recipe. Fanny didn't give a lot of additional detail in her show because she didn't want to give anything away for free.
Now, may I repeat in case I haven't made my point strongly enough? Everything that I've spoken of, every single thing, is written down for you in the booklet.
Let's try it with the brandy butter. This is very, very festive and delicious, and it's a boozy buttercream, basically, so how could you go wrong? Okay, that covers a multitude of sins. Wowzers. They go really well together. The oddness to my palate of this pudding is really balanced out by the brandy butter. Texture's weird to me. Visually, I don't think it's great, but it does have a lot of that mince pie flavor that I liked so much. With the brandy butter, the alcohol, this brandy butter is punchy with the alcohol. Woo, woo, woo. The brandy butter ramps up the sweetness. The alcoholic finish of the brandy butter helps even out the odd aftertaste of the Christmas pudding. I can actually taste the fruits a lot stronger with the brandy butter, which is odd. It tastes more like that mince pie flavor when you add in the brandy butter bite to it. And it's less of the panettone yeasty flavor. I stopped saying yeasty. I gotta stop saying yeasty. All right, I suspect that there are many better recipes for Christmas pudding than this one. I suspect that there are techniques that I did not catch that weren't outlined in the recipe or in the show. And I suspect that my choice of breadcrumbs played a huge factor in the finished flavor of this. I will eat this with the brandy butter added onto it. I would not eat it by itself. But for the Christmas pudding by itself, I'll give it a 6 out of 10. I do actually like it better than the American mincemeat pie I had last week, but only just. I have never tried Fanny Craddock's pudding before, and I don't think I will again, but I'll try anything once. I normally serve Yule log on Christmas, and I get lots of compliments on that. Maybe next year for my Yule log, I will use a brandy butter in the filling of it to help give a little bit of extra punch to the flavor. So that's a recipe I'm going to keep in my repertoire. Come next Christmas, I'll probably try a different Christmas pudding recipe and try that again. Fanny Craddock's pudding was just not to my taste. But that is all for today. If you have liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. That helps more than you can know. If you have not already and you would like to, please subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the future.